Staffing is critical. The schedule is crushing. The political climate feels actively hostile toward the badger right now. If you are waiting for the job to calm down before you can finally catch your breath and find some peace, you are going to be waiting a very long time. Welcome back. I'm Adam Burton. Today we're talking about tactical resilience. And I don't mean defensive tactics on the street. I'm talking about defensive tactics for your mind. The nature of law enforcement is instability. You respond to chaos, but if you let that chaos inside your own head, you become ineffective and bitter, and eventually you burn out. Today we're going to look at how to build an unshakable center, the ability to maintain your footing even when the ground around you is shaking. To understand this, we need to look back to 1914. Sir Ernest Shackleton led an expedition to cross Antarctica. But before they even touched land, their ship, the Endurance, got trapped in pack ice. For months, they drifted. Eventually, the ice pressure crushed the ship like a matchstick, and it sank. 28 men were left stranded on a floating sheet of ice. No radio, no GPS, no hope of rescue. Temperatures are hitting 20 below zero. Shackleton realized something early on, though. The cold wasn't the biggest threat. The hunger wasn't the biggest threat. The biggest threat was despair. If the morale collapsed, they would turn on each other and die. Shackleton knew he couldn't control the ice. The ice just was. So he became obsessed with controlling the culture. He enforced strict routines. He shut down negativity immediately. He forced them to focus only on the immediate task at hand. Because of that internal discipline, Shackleton brought every single man home alive. In law enforcement, you deal with ice every single shift. You can't control the staffing levels. You can't control the administration. You can't control what the media says about you. That is the ice crushing in around the ship. If you focus on the ice, you will drown in bitterness. Like Shackleton, you have to decide that the environment will not dictate your internal state. We see the spiritual root of this mindset in the book of Philippians. The Apostle Paul is sitting in a Roman prison, his own version of being trapped in the ice, and he writes this: "Not that I am speaking of being in need, for I have learned in whatever situation I am to be content. I can do all things through him who strengthens me." Now, we miss something in the English translation. That word content in Greek is autarkes. In that culture, it was a Stoic military term. It meant self-sufficient or independent of external circumstances. It was used to describe a city with its own water supply within the walls. The enemy army could surround the city. They could cut off the roads, but they couldn't cut off the water source. That city was autarkes. This is what Paul is saying. My peace isn't shipped in from the outside. It doesn't depend on the Roman guards treating me nicely or the prison food being good. My supply is internal. It comes from the Holy Spirit. If you are waiting for the department to supply your peace, well, you're going to die of thirst. You need an internal supply line. So what does this look like practically on a Tuesday night shift? Well, it comes down to two options. Option one, you can be a thermometer. A thermometer has zero power. It's a passive device. It just reflects the environment. If the room is hot, the mercury goes up. If the room is cold, it goes down. The thermometer officer is a victim. If the squad is toxic, they become toxic. If the call is chaotic, they panic. They match the room's energy. Option two, you can be a thermostat. A thermostat has a power source. It reads the room, but it doesn't just reflect it. It regulates it. When the pressure rises, the thermostat kicks in to cool the atmosphere down. Shackleton was a thermostat on the ice. Paul was a thermostat in prison. The question you must ask yourself is, when you walk onto a scene or you walk into roll call, does the temperature go up or does it go down because you were there? Look, the job is hard enough without us sabotaging ourselves with negativity. So stop being a thermometer. Stop letting a bad administration or a bad schedule dictate the condition of your soul. I have a challenge for you this week. It's called the Doorframe Check. Every time you cross a threshold, walking into the briefing room or more importantly, walking into your own home after a shift, do a quick mental check. Ask yourself, am I walking in here to react to the mess, or am I walking in here to set the peace? I want to hear from you in the comments. Without naming your agency or specific group, what is the biggest piece of ice, the uncontrollable circumstance that you are dealing with right now? And how are you trying to be a thermostat in the middle of it? Drop a comment below, like the video if this was helpful, and share it with someone on your squad who needs to hear it. Stay safe, watch your six, and keep holding the line. I'll see you next time.